He paid me to leave his son. I took the money and married his younger son. I met Daniel during my sophomore year of college. He was charming, a little arrogant, and the heir to a real estate empire that owned half the city's skyline. I was a broke scholarship girl, juggling 2 part-time jobs and a stack of unpaid bills. On paper, we were from different worlds, but somehow we fit. His father hated that. From the moment I stepped into their mansion for the first time, his dad, Mr. Colton Graves, looked at me like I was dirt on his imported marble floors. He never even tried to hide it. During dinner, he asked if my family had any history of addiction and whether I'd ever been arrested or just poor. Daniel squeezed my hand under the table. I thought it would pass. That if Mr. Graves saw how much I loved his son, how I never cared about his money, he'd come around. He didn't. The deeper Daniel and I got, the worse things became. Mr. Graves stopped speaking to his son altogether. He cut his allowance, froze his accounts, said if Daniel wanted to live like a peasant, he could suffer like one too. Daniel moved into my 1-bedroom apartment and got a job at a car rental place. We lived paycheck to paycheck, but we were happy. Or at least I thought we were. One night, I came home late from work and found Daniel sitting in the dark, staring at the floor. "I can't do this anymore," he said, barely above a whisper. "I love you, but I miss my life. I miss who I was." He left the next morning. No fight, no begging, just a suitcase and a note on the fridge. "I'm sorry. I tried." I didn't cry, not at first. I went numb for weeks. I walked through my days like a ghost. It wasn't until I saw a photo of Daniel on social media, back in his father's penthouse, wearing a designer suit and holding a glass of champagne, that the tears came, and the rage. A month later, I got a letter. Handwritten, no return address, just a name at the bottom, Colton Graves. "You're smarter than I thought. You walked away. I respect that." Enclosed is a small token of appreciation. $100,000. Don't contact Daniel again. Let him move on. Let both of you move on. There it was, a personal check, 6 figures, cold as hell. I stared at it for a long time, and I cashed it. Maybe that makes me a monster, or maybe it just makes me honest. I knew I'd never win against a man like Colton Graves. He didn't just beat me, he bought me. Or so he thought. Because fate, she's got a twisted sense of humor. 6 months later, I met a guy at a fundraising gala I got invited to through work. He was sweet, funny, and refreshingly low-key. Said he worked in tech, but didn't flaunt it. His name was Liam. We went for drinks, then brunch, then weekend hikes and late-night phone calls. It was the easiest, calmest love I'd ever known. It took me 2 months to realize why his last name sounded so familiar. Liam Graves, Daniel's younger brother, the one who lived out of state, the nerd of the family, who'd moved away at 18 and never looked back. And now, he was falling for me. I should have walked away the second I realized who he was, but I didn't. Instead, I sat across from Liam at that little Italian place we loved, watching him tell some story about his terrible cooking skills, laughing so hard he wiped tears from his eyes. And I stayed, because this was different. Liam wasn't like his father or his brother. He didn't name-drop people or carry himself like the world owed him something. He held doors open, called his mom every Sunday, and always made sure I felt safe. And even when I told myself it would never last, that the truth would eventually explode everything, I kept going, because for the first time, I felt like I wasn't just surviving, I was healing. Then came the dinner. Liam invited me to a family thing, casual and small. He said his dad wouldn't even be there. It'd just be his mom and a few cousins. I almost said no, but some part of me, a very small dark part, wanted to see. To be in that house again, to walk through those glass doors, not as Daniel's broke girlfriend, but as Liam's girlfriend, the one his whole family seemed to adore. So I said yes. I wore a cream dress, simple, elegant, expensive, because I could finally afford it, thanks to the check his father had written me to disappear. Funny how things work out. The house looked the same, cold, perfect, like a museum nobody actually lived in. Liam's mom was kind, if distant. She asked where I grew up, what I did for work, and whether I liked oysters. She never once mentioned Daniel, but someone else did. Midway through dinner, a cousin leaned over and asked, "So how did you and Liam meet? Through Daniel?" The table froze. Liam blinked. "Daniel?" The cousin's face turned red. "Oh, I just thought, didn't you date his brother or something?" I swallowed. Hard. Liam looked at me. "Is that true?" I opened my mouth, closed it, opened it again. "I knew Daniel," I said slowly. "A while ago. We were together for a bit. But it's over. It's been over." The room went quiet. Liam didn't say a word the entire drive home. When we pulled up outside my place, he finally spoke. "You should have told me." "I was going to," I whispered. I didn't want to lose this." He looked at me, really looked at me. "Did he hurt you?" The question caught me off guard. I nodded. Liam reached out and touched my hand. "You deserve better." And just like that, it wasn't over. He stayed. We moved in together 6 months later. Got a little apartment with a terrible heater and a leaky sink. It was perfect, imperfect. Ours. I never brought up his father until one day Liam did. "Can you come to dinner with me?" he asked, nervously tugging at the sleeves of his hoodie. "My dad's invited us over. He wants to meet you, for real this time." I stared at him. "He doesn't know, does he?" Liam shook his head. "No, but I want him to." I didn't sleep the night before. I kept picturing Colton Graves's face when he opened the door. The man who once told me I wasn't fit to polish their silverware. The same man who paid me to vanish, now hosting me as the future daughter-in-law. Yeah, we were engaged. Liam had proposed 2 weeks earlier in a candle-lit bookstore. I said yes through tears. Now I was walking back into the lion's den. But this time, I wasn't prey. I was family. And I couldn't wait to see his face. He opened the door himself. Colton Graves. Still in his signature navy suit, still smelling like overpriced cologne and ego. For a second, his face didn't register me. He gave me the same polite nod he probably offered every caterer, secretary, or staff member he considered beneath him. Then recognition hit. His mouth opened slightly, his eyes narrowed. But he said nothing. "Dad," Liam beamed, "this is her, my fiancée. I told you you'd love her." I reached out, shook his hand. "Nice to see you again, Mr. Graves," I said, cool as ice. If looks could kill, I'd be buried in a diamond coffin by now. The dinner was awkward, stiff. His mom tried to keep the conversation flowing, but Colton barely spoke. He just sat there, glaring, chewing slowly like every bite of salmon offended him. When Liam stepped away to take a call from work, the silence between us cracked. "You planned this," Colton said flatly. "Planned what?" I asked innocently. He leaned in. "Don't play stupid. You think this is revenge?" "No," I said, swirling my wine. "That would have meant I still cared about you. This is just poetic. You used him, like you used me?" He clenched his jaw. "You don't love him." I laughed. "That's where you're wrong. I love Liam more than I ever thought I could love anyone. He's everything your other son pretended to be." The insult landed hard. He stood up, napkin falling from his lap. "You think I'll allow this? You allowed it the moment you handed me that check," I said, locking eyes with him. "You didn't just pay me to walk away. You paid for my peace, my freedom, And unknowingly, you paid for your future daughter-in-law's wedding dress. He stared at me. You cashed it, he muttered, every penny. That night, Liam and I left early. He could feel the tension, but I told him everything was fine, that his father was just processing. He hugged me tighter than usual, said he was proud to have me. 3 weeks later, the wedding happened. Small, intimate, beautiful. Mr. Graves didn't show. He sent an email instead. You made your choice. Don't ever contact me again. Consider yourself disowned. Liam didn't reply. He didn't need his money, or his name, or his approval. He had me. A year later, Liam and I started our own tech company, one that focused on low-income housing development. Ironically, we grew fast. Investors were interested. By year 2, we were buying up properties across the city. One of them, a failing hotel, previously owned by Colton Graves. I didn't want to take it. Liam insisted. We'll make it into something better, he said. Something that helps people. And we did. But I kept one room just the way it was, untouched, styled in the old luxury his father adored. Because sometimes, on quiet nights, I walk into that room, pour myself a glass of wine, sit by the window, and smile. He paid me to disappear, and now I own the building his name was erased from. Funny how things turn out.